Welcome all of our amazing leaders and champions. Everyone give yourselves a big hand for making it today. I am so proud of you. And so champions, we're going to lead off with asking the $1,000,000 question. So I want all of you get ready to go to the chat box and let's talk about, as a leader, what are your biggest challenges and struggles? Go to the chat box and let us know. We want to hear from you. This is going to be very, very interactive today. So we're going to need your full participation. And Meadow, as you see answers coming in, let me know about them.
Absolutely.
Need your participation, champions. Or if you're in a quiet area, you can come off of mute and you can go ahead and say it out loud. So we want to hear, as a leader, what do you struggle with? Where are you challenged?
Okay. So they're just flying in here. Nicole says, keeping consistent employees with consistent work ethic, getting them to believe in me and trust me to help them grow, keeping
Wow.
employees motivated, hiring, consistency, hiring new employees, morale.
Wow. These are great. I like this, the getting them to believe in me and to trust me to help them grow. These are big. Wow. Well, champions, everything you shared is very, very valid. And I think that the one thing I want you all to know is you're in the right place today. If what you want is to really look at, how do I reduce employee turnoff? How do I reduce employee turnover? How do we increase employee satisfaction? How do we increase my team's productivity? How do I become a more effective leader, mentor, and communicator? And how am I an influencer that knows how to make positive change in others and to help them achieve their goals and dreams? How many of you want more of this? Say, I do. And go to the chat box and put a big in there. I'm in it to win it, because this is your time, champions. And to help you in the process of growing your team, I'm just going to launch right away by letting you know I have a gift for all of you. It's absolutely free. So pull out your phone, champions. All you have to do is scan the QR code and you're going to get a 3-video series from me, absolutely free, no obligation. You don't have to buy anything. And it's for you. It's to help you to have tools to grow your team. And so this was one of my favorite of all the videos we did. And I know you're going to love it. And it's something not only you can watch, but you can watch it with your entire team. You can use it at one of your team buildings and get everybody on board. So please go on, enjoy this free gift from me. And I look forward to you and your team enjoying this and increasing their income, working smarter instead of harder. If all of you love this free gift, say, I love it.
I love
Yes.
it.
Fantastic. World champions. I'm Lauren Gartland, the founder and CEO of Inspiring Champions, and I am blown away that this year marks 30 years of igniting transformation in the salon industry. It almost seems unbelievable that 30 years have already passed. And over the past 3 decades, we haven't just helped, we've revolutionized the lives and businesses of tens of thousands of salon and spa professionals using our proven, repeatable systems that create real and lasting change. And today, champion, I have the absolute privilege of standing before you. I am ready to pour into your journey. So thank you for allowing me to be part of your transformation. And this moment, champion, is for you. So our hot topic today is how to unleash your team's potential, how to retain, empower, and grow your dream team. Everyone say dream team. So let's just be real, champions. Being a leader is not easy. Anybody who says it is, I'm pretty sure they lie about other things. It's demanding, it's challenging, and at times it can feel incredibly lonely at the top. Can anybody relate? They say to whom much is given, much is required. But what happens when the weight of leadership feels like too much? The burden feels too heavy. Well, I remember when I started inspiring champions, I was I just engulfed myself in learning about leadership. And I would read all these bios of the greatest leaders of all time. And I remember one of my favorites that I really was so touched, moved, and inspired by was Vince Lombardi. I was so captivated by what he had accomplished around leadership. And so, interestingly enough, it was 25 years ago. Remember, we started Inspiring Champions 30 years ago. But 25 years ago, as we took the company on the road, I remember being on a plane going from San Diego to Michigan. And in one single moment on that flight, something incredible happened that shook me to my core. It forever changed how I saw leadership, how I led, how I inspired, and how I built a dream team that everybody talks about. And a dream team that doesn't just work together, but wins together. Everybody say, win, you got to win. So I want to take you back 25 years ago when I got onto this Delta flight. I found myself sitting next to this huge man. You know, one of these people whose presence just kind of fills a space without them even saying a word. And to this day, I have no idea. I don't know what compelled me to ask this man what I did. But halfway through the flight, we had not said a single word to each other. But all of a sudden, I just looked at him. I turned to him and I said, "Excuse me, I don't know why I'm asking you this question, but I just feel compelled to. Are you or were you a professional football player?" And he glanced over at me. He nodded and said, "As a matter of fact, I was. I played for the Green Bay Packers." Oh my God. My heart just started thumping. It was like going crazy. And I go, "Oh my gosh, wait, did you have Vince Lombardi as your coach?" And he turned and he said, "Yes, Vince Lombardi was my coach." Now, if you know anything about football, or you don't even have to know about football, what you need to know is that Vince Lombardi wasn't just a coach. He was a force of nature. His name is synonymous with excellence, discipline, and winning, all the key traits of extraordinary leaders. In fact, there is no coach in NFL history that achieved more in less time than Vince Lombardi. He had 5 NFL championships in 7 years. He had 2 Super Bowls during that time and a staggering 76% winning record, which is unheard of. So I had to ask this gentleman this question that was just burning inside of me. I said, what made Vince Lombardi the greatest leader, the greatest coach of all time? And the player, he didn't even blink. His voice was steady and certain. It was like the most unbelievable thing when he looked at me and he said, "Lauren, that man was not the most liked." How many of you want to be the most liked leader? How many of you want to be everyone's best friend? He looked at me, he said, "Vince Lombardi was not the most liked man, but I will tell you what, Lauren, he was the most respected." And he paused as if he were going back onto the field and almost reliving that moment, because he said he was It was very grueling, very painful to be coached by Vince Lombardi. It was even, he said, almost impossible at times. And then he said something I'll never forget. He said, Lombardi had this amazing ability to see something in you, something you couldn't even see in yourself. And he knew how to pull it out of you. But it was never easy. It was very painful. It was extremely grueling. It was physically and mentally, it pulled you out of a comfort zone you can't even imagine. But in the end, and I want you to hear these words because I wrote them down and I'll never forget them. He said, but in the end, he didn't just make us better players. He made us champions. That moment changed my life forever because that is what great leadership is about. That's what I want to live every day of my life. I want to get up and know that at the end of the day, the month, the year, the decade, and at the end of my life, that I did everything possible to bring out the best, to bring out the champion in others, to make them, even though they didn't like me, that they would respect me and always remember that that journey we had together was the most incredible journey. And so it's not always about being liked. It's about unlocking the potential in others, even when it's hard. And it is hard being a leader. It's about pushing people past their limits. It's about challenging them to be more than they ever imagined possible. And that's exactly what we're diving into today. So if that sounds like what you're looking for, you are in the right place at the right time, champions, because today we're diving into a powerful system called transactional leadership. It's a style used by icons like Vince Lombardi, and one of the greatest examples is Bill Gates, because it's about setting clear expectations, holding people accountable. And many of you would rather die in a fire than ever feel like people didn't like you or you were being pushy, holding them accountable. It's about driving results. It's about, well, implementing systems that have rewards and penalties to manage your team effectively. And when this is done right, it doesn't just create a strong team. Everyone say strong. It's not just about creating a strong team. It's about building a destiny and implementing systems and rewards and penalties that will manage your team effectively. So my $1,000,000 question, are you ready to unleash the full potential of your team? If you are, let's dive in, champions, because I have 3 very exciting goals for you today. And I want you to talk to me in the chat box here, champions. So my first goal with you today is I am inspired today. I am encouraged today to support you in changing the way you think about leadership. Because when you change the way you look at things, you change the way things look. So we're going to change how you think about leadership. You're going to leave today not with 1, not but 2, but with 3. Everyone say 3. 3 proven systems to elevate others and produce lasting results. Everyone say, I like that. And number 3, champions, I'm here to empower you to confidently and fearlessly take action. If you stay here with me this entire time, it is going to be rocking right up till the very, very end. You are going to get meat and potatoes right up until the end. So don't leave me, number 1. But you know what? This isn't for your entertainment purposes only. This is to drive change. And change happens when we take action. So I want all of you to be committed to taking action today and really take copious notes. So we're going to launch by first talking about who is on your team. How many of you believe Vince Lombardi was very particular about who he had on his team. You don't need everybody. You don't need everybody. You don't want everybody. If you want to be a Super Bowl winner in the salon and spa industry, you need the right people. So first you need to know what are the 3 types of people you can hire, because at the end of the day, we are accountable. So the first type, oh my gosh, eagles. Now, if you don't know this about eagles, there is no bird that can soar higher than an eagle. In fact, the only bird that can actually go after an eagle is a crow. And a crow will get on the back of an eagle and they will peck away at it. They'll just keep pecking at it. And you know what the eagle does? Instead of shaking him off, the eagle just keeps flying higher and higher and higher until the crow can no longer handle that height. And they have to drop off because it can't breathe. They can't breathe at that height. And so eagles, not only are they majestic, not only are the most courageous, the strongest, but eagles are proactive. Eagles make things happen. Eagles are always on time. Eagles take personal responsibility for their success. If there is a show coming up, they are not going to come to you and say, hey, would you buy me a ticket to the show? No, they're going to come to you and they're going to say, I bought a ticket to the show. Have you gotten yours yet? These are the people that are always lifting up others. They're encouragers. They are your rainmakers. A rainmaker is someone who makes the cash register rain. They make it happen. They are victors. They are unstoppable. They are credible. They are great at building rapport. They are your superstars. They are your rock stars. How many of you have eagles on your team? Write it down if you have some eagles. Go to the chat box. Let us know if you have some eagles. Now, the second one, the eagles will be 10 to 20%. This next one, when you're hiring, this is a very important one, potential eagles, because this is going to be about 60% of the people that come to you. And I'm going to really drive home the importance of being able to identify and understand the importance of these potential eagles. I'm going to actually tell you a story about a school teacher, Mrs. Thomas. Mrs. Thomas had a student whose name was Raul. And Raul was always skipping school, never turned in his homework. Raul was always late when he did show up. He got straight D's and F's. She knew he was in a gang. She knew he was doing things that were not okay in his life. And one day she decided to have the courage, say courage. It takes courage to be a leader. She had the courage to have a conversation and say, Rual, I would like to set up a 5-minute meeting with you because I have a question that could change the course of your destiny. He goes, of course. So they set up a meeting. She said, you can't be late and you can't no-show me because this could change your life. He showed up early that day and they sat down and she looked at him. Mrs. Thomas looked at Rual and she said, Rual, she said, I'm going to ask you a question and I need you to tell me the truth. Would you like to go to college? And Rual instantly looked down and he says, ma'am, nobody in our family ever, in the history of our family, nobody has ever graduated from high school, more or less gone on to college. She looked at him, she said, Rual, that was not the question. My question is, do you want to go to college? And this big man looked at his teacher, Mrs. Thomas, and tears started pouring down his face. And he closed his eyes and he held his head down and he said, yes, ma'am. I've always wanted to go to college. That's a dream I have. Mrs. Thomas looked at him and said, well, listen carefully. If you will show up and never miss class, if you will let me tutor you and I will do it for free, if you will do all of your homework, if you will stop hanging around with the crowd and stop drinking and stop the drugs and get out of the gang, and if you will let me mentor you, I promise you, if you give me 100% Raul, I will get you to college. Raul stood up and he wrapped his arms around Mrs. Thomas and he said, let's do it. That moment changed the course of his destiny. She saw something in Raul that even he didn't see, just like Vince Lombardi saw in his team. He showed up for every one of their tutoring sessions. He quit the game. He quit the drugs. He was on time for school every day. He did all of his homework. And before you knew it, his F's and his D's turned into C's and B's. And in his senior year, he was chosen to be the valedictorian. He had straight A's. Something nobody could have said was possible. But when you take the T off a can't, you're left with I can. When you take I'm impossible and break it into two words, it's I'm possible. Raul not only graduated from high school, not only got a scholarship to go on to college, but he graduated with honors and went on to become a doctor. Why? Because one person had the wisdom, had the courage to approach this man because she saw a possibility in him. And that's a potential eagle. They don't see it yet. They have been brought up around people that haven't empowered them, that haven't inspired them. They have been broken down. They've been beat down in many cases. They know that there's a potential. They just don't know how to get there. And they're looking for a Mrs. Thomas. They are looking for that person that will bring them up, that will build them, that will edify them, that will coach them, that will mentor them, that will bring out their greatness and help them reach their full potential. So when you are hiring, you must have the wisdom to know, is this a potential eagle? Someone who just needs a helping hand, and with some great coaching, some great mentoring, they can go to some amazing places. And then champions, we got our third ones, the chickens. You know, the bark, 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 bark. You know, those people that are always negative. They're always victims. They will never, ever, ever take personal responsibility for their life not working and for their business not working. It is always someone else's fault. They are always pointing the finger out there. They will never point the finger at them. They are the negative Neds, the negative Nellies. They are the people in the back room stirring the pot, just, getting everybody worked up. They're gossipers. They murmur, they groan, they complain. They're always late. They never want to stay late, though. They're always on social media seeing how great everyone else is doing, but doing nothing to turn their own life around. They never will invest in themselves. Bok, 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 bok. If the owner would just decorate this lawn, I'm sure I'd get a lot more clients. We'd be a lot busier. If the owner would just be more proactive and help me, I could make a lot more money. It's always finger pointing out there. So do you have some chickens on your team? So I'm going to give you your first success work, champions. So get your paper ready, get your pencil ready. This is the most important thing you could do. So here's success work number one. I want you to first make a list of everybody on your team. Who's on your team? Every great leader knows that. I have the greatest team in the world, and anybody and everybody who has ever been to one of our events, who has ever worked with one of our coaches, will always say that. They have never met such an extraordinary team of people. That didn't happen by chance, I promise you. Number two, once you have your list, now we have to identify. Everyone say identify. We must identify if on each person. So you're going to go to each person. Is this an eagle? Is this a potential eagle? Or is this a chicken? All you're doing is writing down eagle, potential eagle, or chicken. Period. End of sentence. That easy. Now you're going to go to step number 3. Ooh, you're going to love this. Now we're going to evaluate each of their contribution. By that I mean, what impact do they have on you? Because who we have in our space, work is 60, some of you it's 80% of your life, but work is a big part of our life. And who we let in impacts our life greatly. If we are around the wrong energy, we are not going to have a happy, glorious life. So we want the right people on our team. So you want to look at, what impact do they have on you and the team? And you're going to score that either from -10 to +10. So here I'm going to give you some parameters. So from -10 to +10, each individual. So here is what you're going to rate them on. The first one, if this individual is someone who will help you achieve your dreams, you keep them. That is an eagle. And you would rate them 6 to 10, but you're going to pick it. Are they a 6, a 7, an 8, a 9, a 10? Rate them. The next one. This is someone who will probably not contribute to your dream. It's all about them. But they show up, they do their job, they make money. They're a good worker. We're going to rate them from 0 to +5. But they're not into contributing to others or to the growth or the success of you or your dream. The next one, -10 to -1. This is someone who will hinder your progress. This is someone who is a virus in your business. I'm sure at some point or another, every one of us have had a virus in our computer, and we all know what happens. It takes out the entire system. These chickens, these are your chickens. They will take you out, and you could lose some of your eagles because you don't have the courage to let them go. And they don't want to be around them. You can't soar with eagles if you're scratching with chickens. So eagles want to be around other eagles. You keep those chickens around, you stand a good chance of losing your dedicated, your amazing eagles. You never want to do that. And so champions, if you have employees, you have to go through an HR process. I will never forget, and that can be a painful process because it's not like you can just show up one day and fire an employee. You have to go through a process. So you always have to check that with your HR. But I remember we had this individual on our team that literally repelled me. I would have never, ever, ever, ever hired this person. While I was gone on business, I came back and was told we had a new employee. And from day one, this person it was painful to be around them. Am I the only person, or can anybody relate to what I just said? And all I could do is think about this person. They drained me. They drained my energy. Everything they did was against all of my core values, was against everything we stood for. And then I heard the most painful words that I couldn't just fire them, that they actually were under 3 qualifications, that if they turned me in, I would get hit hard. And so they were a single mom, they were Hispanic, and they hadn't been written up. So it was like I had all these things going against me. So I had to go through the process, and it took almost 2 grueling years. But when we did it right, and it was the happiest day of my life. So there is a process for letting people go. But I want to share with you one of our amazing champions, the power of getting the right people on your team. Her mission, Dana's mission, is we grow people. That's a mission every one of us should have in our business. We grow our team, we grow our clients, we grow the business, we grow people. And she already had a very successful business when we started with her. But like many of you, she needed to know, how do I get my team to the next level? And so I'm going to show you where she was at when we started. They were averaging basically 114,000 a month. Nice. 1.3, almost 1.4 million a year. And she had a 7% profit, which is very respectful in the salon industry. Most people never have a profit. So after working with Dana and getting the most amazing people on the team, really working on the hiring, the recruitment, the training, using proven systems, we were able to take her to 1.7 million in 12 months. We were able to take the profit from 7% to over 16%. And that is a $374,000 increase in a year. That was a 132.8% increase in profit. And this was what the catalyst was. The best part was we had to get Dana working less behind the chair without losing any of her income. And we accomplished that. We were able to get her down 2 less days a week. So instead of working 5 days, she went to 2 days behind the chair, which she loved working behind the chair. It kept her relevant, but it gave her time to coach and mentor and grow her people, which was the mission. She couldn't do that working 5, 10-hour days behind the chair. But the icing and the cherry on top was really taking her through the recruitment, the hiring, and getting the dream team, but then using proven systems. Without proven, repeatable systems to grow your team, it will be almost impossible. So I want to share with you right now the 3 things you never, ever, ever want to do. So if you want to know the 3 ways to manage people the wrong way and get bad results, I'm going to share that with you right now, champions. So get your pencil ready. I think there's going to be smoke coming off of it. So number 1, catch them doing something right and say absolutely nothing about it. This happens all the time. I hear this all the time. I see it all the time. I want you to become vividly aware. Everyone say aware. I need you to become aware of the way to goes. The wow, great job. I'm so proud of you. Aren't you proud of yourself? Wow, that was extraordinary how you handled that angry client. Wow, that was off the charts that you took the time to clean all the color bowls. Wow, thank you for folding the towels. That means so much to me. Way to go. It makes such a difference. Catch people doing something right and saying absolutely nothing is the fastest way to kill people off. And so I want you to become aware of how many moments of magic there are that you say nothing because you're too busy. Second way is catch them doing something wrong and tell them all about it. I want you to think about this. Think about this in your home life. Think about this in your work life. Think about this with your family and friends. You know, I remember growing up at 6 years old, my father left and left my mom with 5 children and no support, no financial support whatsoever. And how my mother did it, I will never know. But this is an important story because it really drives this home. I remember this woman used to be so happy, but pretty soon she had to work 3 jobs just to make sure we didn't go on welfare. So we would never feel the embarrassment of her paying with food stamps at the grocery store. She worked 3 jobs. She never had a moment to breathe. And in the process of this, and my father not helping her, she became the most bitter, the most angry, the most hateful person. She was awful. I remember she would give me a list every single day of all these things I had to do before she got home. I all of a sudden had four brothers myself, and I became the mother, I guess. And I couldn't wait for her to come home because all I wanted her to do was say, "Oh my gosh, great job. You did a great job of this, Lauren. You did a great job of that." My entire life, I never heard those words come out of my mom's mouth, ever. She was resentful. She was bitter. All she could see was what I did wrong. And she would say everything about it. And that drew me, that literally broke our relationship. Where at 21 years old, I moved 3,000 miles away and told her, "I will never see you again. I don't want to be like you. I don't want to talk to you. I don't want to see you." But today, years later, I was able to come back as I became a greater leader. I was able to be that person to turn the page in my mother's life, to remove her bitterness, her anger, her resentment, where she only could see the good. She no longer talked negatively about people or things, but positively. And it changed the trajectory of our entire family. It was amazing. I want you to become aware. How often are you picking at people? Because if you keep telling them all the things they're doing wrong, you will continue to get bad results. They will give you a reason to say that. But the third one is if you don't make it clear what you expect of them. I had this young lady call me up. Her name was Mary. And I remember at the time, my assistant came to me and said, "Lauren, there's this girl named Mary, and she insists on having a call with you." She said her boss made her call and she has to talk to you. So my assistant scheduled the call. I got it. I said, "Mary, how can I help you?" Mary started crying and she said, "Lauren, no matter what I do, I cannot make my boss happy. He always complains about what I do. I can't answer the phone correctly. I can't check someone in correctly. I can't check someone out correctly. I can't collect the money correctly. It's like he's just always telling me all the things I do wrong." And I was like, "Oh my gosh, Mary, I am so sorry to hear that." I said, "Mary, could you please send me a copy of your job description?" And Mary said, "I don't understand." I said, "Yeah, your job description that clearly tells you what is expected of you." She goes, "I don't have that." I said, "So how do you know what you're supposed to do?" She said, "I just do what I think is the right thing to do, but it never seems to be okay for Michael." In that moment, I said, "Mary, I just want to acknowledge you for being a winner and a champion, because only a winner and a champion would have picked up the phone and called me and had the courage to do this." Now, Mary, I need you to do something very important. I need you to open up Michael's schedule right now, and you're going to schedule a 1 hour talk with Michael and I. See, Mary was getting bashed all the time and being made wrong for something she didn't even know what was expected of her. Do your people know what's expected of them? Do you have clear guidelines? So when you hire them, they know what's expected of them and what they can expect from you, because all of that is part of leadership. So what I can promise you is if you do these three things, you are 100% guaranteed to get bad results. You will have a revolving door. If you have a revolving door, you might want to look at this. This list might be a good indicator. I always tell people, remember, I'm a coach. A coach is going to tell you what you don't want to hear. They're going to have you see what you don't want to see, so you can be who you've always wanted to be. That is from Coach Tom Landry, and I've never forgotten that. We're not always the most liked, but we're the most respected, because our job is to bring out people's full potential. So I always tell people, if anything out here, if your workplace isn't working, if you have a revolving door, if your life isn't working, The finger to point is not out there. The finger to point, and this will be the hardest thing you'll ever do, because I went through the most extensive, grueling 4-year leadership program that almost killed me. It was so painful, but I got my life, and it made me take the finger and point it here. Because usually this, our world on the outside, is usually a mirror of our inside, our internal, our external mindset and heart. For me, it's all about creating the heart and the mindset of a champion. And so, how do we do that? How do we bring out the best in others? In fact, if you're really loving this training, I want you to go to the chat box right now and I want you to rate it 1 to 10. 10 being off the charts, 1 being, oh my gosh, this is the biggest waste of time. So go in the chat box and rate this 1 to 10. Let us know how we're doing. And Meadow, if you want to, yell those out as they're coming in, that would be great. So let's look at
1,000.
10,000. I love that. Whoever said that, free call with me. I love you. All right. So we're going to look at what is the best way to grow your team and drive lasting results. I told you, if you heard my video, I said, I'm going to teach you an easy, proven system on how to find out what people want and make it happen. And so what I'm going to tell you is the key. The key to success with people is your job is to find out what do they want. But more importantly, why do they want it? And then your job is to help them achieve it. So you might be thinking, okay, that sounds really good, Lauren, but how do we do this? Well, you have to ask and you have to listen. I mean, listen in a way where you could recite back to them verbatim what they said word for word. That they feel you with them. You're looking at them. You're listening. You're taking in. You're getting into their world. So I am going to teach you a core coaching and mentoring model. In order to do this, we have to first do something. I want all of you to think about this, and I need you to go to the chat box. This is going to be very, very important because we need some feedback here. I want you to think about if we were to go to all your team members and we were to ask them, what do you want more of in your business? What are some of the answers we might get? What do you want more of in your business? And Meadow, let me know what we have coming into the chat box. Or if you have no background, you can come off of mute and let us know.
We're getting education.
Okay, that's a good one.
Peace.
Peace, that's a great one. What was that last one?
Peace, and then more clients / income, more time and more money, more travel, education.
Okay, got it. These are all fantastic. Now, I can tell you I have done numerous classes around the country asking this question. And what we have them do is everyone gets to vote once, and they vote on the one that they believe would be the thing they would want the most. And what I can tell you with certainty is that every class, and this is probably well over 1,000 people, it's always been the same: more money. But what I can tell you is it's never about more money. And this is where the core coaching model is going to come in. So in order to do this, I need one individual I can coach right now. And I need you're going to be I want you to be a technician. You may be an owner, but you're going to be in the shoes of a technician, like a team member. And so, Meadow, can you tell me, I need someone who's got no background noise, someone that will be a technician. And Meadow, do we have anyone with their hand up? because this is not going to be easy if I don't have someone to coach.
I've got no hands up yet. Um, so let's see. I can't tell if your line's oh, yes, I do. Hang on. Who's got their hand up? Laura Alley.
All
So
right,
Laura,
fantastic.
I'm going
Now,
to promote
okay,
Laura to panelist. Laura, if you want to
okay,
be our volunteer, you need to accept that panelist invite.
fantastic. So, Laura, we
Oh,
need you to accept that and we can bring you off of mute. Now, everybody watching this, you have a homework assignment right now, and your homework assignment is I want you to carefully watch. I want you to see, everyone touch your eyes. I want you to see what I'm doing differently. Touch your ears. I want you to listen to what I'm saying differently. So look at what I'm doing differently and listen for what I'm doing differently. And I want you to write down key things that you see me doing and that you hear me doing. Okay. So is Laura on with us?
no, she may have had her hand up for another reason. So,
Okay. So
um,
Meadow, here's what we're going to do for the sake of
oh,
time.
Lauren
I'm gonna
Jackson is going to volunteer for us. Thank you,
Lauren
Lauren.
Jackson.
Yes.
Well, Lauren Jackson, I can't stand it. I have to say this. Lauren Jackson is a celebrity amongst us. A week and a half ago, Lauren Jackson was crowned the queen of Mrs. International. She's going on to the international finals. She is Mrs. International USA. Can we give Lauren Jackson a big hand? Woo! I said to her, Lauren, I don't think we've ever had anyone in the salon industry get crowned a queen of something so epic and big. Mrs. USA. So, Lauren, are you with me? We got to hear your voice.
I am with you.
So, congratulations, champion. I'm sure this has changed your life dramatically. And this is a great class for you to be on, Lauren, because this next year, I'm sure you know you're going to really have to step it up as a leader.
Yes, I am. But, not just for my business, but I'm hearing so many things even for my family. This is amazing. I love it. So thank
Awesome.
you.
Now, Lauren, are you able to come on video? Is that possible?
I look awful because I took a shower. My hair is wet, but I can. Here, let's just do it.
I'm sure you at your most awful is better than most people on their best day.
Well, that is very kind of you to
I
Is it
just love you,
working? Am I
Lauren
on video?
Jackson. All right. So, Lauren, are you ready to play with me?
I am.
Okay, so this is what it's going to look like, Lauren, is remember we picked the majority of people, they always want to make more money.
Yes.
So I want you can be one of your team members. You can play as a team member, but you do work as a technician. So it might be me coaching you about this. So everybody, again, I'm going to take you through a core coaching model. So listen and watch for what I'm doing differently. So Lauren, I just want to take a moment and say thank you for taking the time to sit down and give me the opportunity to mentor you, to coach you to the top, to your dreams and to your goals. Nothing makes me happier than helping you reach your full potential. So today, Miss Lauren, I want to find out from you, what is it that you want more of in your business right now?
In my business, I would love more stylists that sell
Okay,
more
so
retail.
remember, we're on more money
Oh, great. Love it.
because
In my business or
we're
my
teaching owners to coach technicians.
okay, I would like a larger profit percentage.
Okay, so let's go with, because remember, I'm trying to teach owners how to coach their
Let me
technicians.
be a stylist then, because that was my
Be
original
a
plan. So
stylist. Perfect.
I would like to buy a new car this year, and I would like financial freedom and pay off my debt.
Okay, so let's start this over.
Sorry, guys.
You're going to be my technician.
Okay.
We're going to start our coaching session. I'm going to ask you what you want more of in your business. And a
Okay, got it.
typical technician is going to go, they're going to say, Maybe start with, I don't know,
more.
so people
Okay.
can see where I go. And then it's,
Okay,
I want more
perfect.
money. So
Let's-
thank you, Miss Lauren. Okay, we're going to take it from the top. Here we
Okay.
go. All right, here we go. Take two. So, Lauren, I just want to say thank you so much for the opportunity to coach and mentor you today. I just love having you on our team. You are such a rock star. I love you. The team loves you. Your clients love you. And I'm here to help you live your dreams. So, my $1,000,000 question for you today, Lauren Jackson, is what do you want more of in your business right now?
I guess I really don't know what I want more of in my business right now.
Okay. You know what? Thank you for being honest and transparent. If you did know,
Mhm.
if you did know, what do you want more of?
I would like more business, more clients.
Okay. Fantastic. So you want more clients. Let me ask you something. Why do you want more clients?
I want more clients so I can make more money.
Okay. So is the reason you want more clients is because you equate more clients with making more money. Is that correct?
Yes.
Perfect. So when you're making more money, I want you to share with me, I want you to take your right hand, Lauren, to touch your heart. And in your heart is some big, bodacious, compelling dream you have.
Mm-hmm.
I want you to tell me, I want you to imagine you're making a lot more money.
Mm-hmm.
What is one thing you would most desire to do with more money?
I would like to pay off my debt and I would like to open a salon.
Okay, so to pay off your debt and
Mm-hmm.
open a salon. Okay, got it. So why do you want to pay off debt?
So I can have more financial freedom.
Okay. And
And
what will,
it's anxiety having debt.
yes. So the reason you want to make more money is you want to pay off your debt
Yes.
because it's going to be a little difficult to open your own salon if you got a lot of debt.
Right.
So the most important thing is we must identify their compelling why. So someone, Lauren, just play here with me a little bit.
Okay.
Just, I'm going to just give you some common answers. Some of these people might hear so they can hear a couple versions. Say, I'd like to go on a trip. So
I would,
what's that one dream you'd most want to accomplish, Lauren?
I would love to go to Italy.
Okay. And so most people aren't going to actually name where they want to go.
That's where I want to go.
But I know, but I'm trying. You're one of our advanced coaching clients. I should have picked someone who's never
I
been
know, I'm
coached.
sorry. Okay, I want to go on I want to go on a
Because
vacation.
I want to go on a vacation is what I want to go on a trip is what most people will say. And most people would stop there and go, "Oh, that's nice." But I'm going to go, "Well, Lauren, if you could go anywhere, where would you want to go?"
I would like to go on a trip to Italy.
Fantastic. When do you want to go there by?
I mean, I would absolutely love to go by the end of next year.
Okay, what month?
I would like to go in this April.
Okay, April, what day
April the 14th
and what year?
of 2026.
Okay, and how long do you want to stay in Italy?
I would like to go for 3 weeks.
For 3 weeks. So from April 14th, I want you to look at your calendar and we go out 3 weeks. That's probably going to take you out to like May 7th.
Mm-hmm.
So, Lauren Jackson, I believe in you and I know you can do this, and it is my honor to help you get there. So, I want you to write down your goal. Your goal is to go to Italy April 14th through May 7th, 2026.
Yes.
So we have a clear picture of Lauren Jackson's goal. Can we all agree? You want it to be so crystal clear that she can see it, she can feel it. And then I want her to do a vision board. I want her to do a vision board with pictures of the places she's going to go in Italy. I want her to have pictures of who she's going to go there with. If it's her gorgeous husband, Chris, I want a picture of her and Chris on there. If it's her whole family, I want the whole family. And I want these pictures because we can follow a picture. It'll move us towards it. But you got to find out nobody wants more money. They want what the money will give them. And your job is to find out what it is. So we went from clients, she wanted more clients. And I said, why do you want more clients? Because it will give me more money. So what I'm hearing is what you really want is more money. Yes. What would you do with more money? What's one big dream? Have them touch their heart. What is a big, bodacious dream you have? When you help people get to their dream, they will never forget you. They might leave you, but it will be to go on to something you'll be proud of and that you were a part of it. And so, Lauren, great job. I'm so excited. All right. So, Miss Lauren, we're going to start our coaching process. Are you ready, champion?
I am ready.
All right. So, Miss Lauren, you want to make more money. So, where are you currently? Share with me, what are you averaging per week right now in service sales?
I'm averaging 2,000 a week.
Okay. Fantastic. And where do you want to be?
I would really like to be at 3,500 a week.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I know if any human being can do it, Lauren, it is you. You have the DNA of a champion. You have everything within you to get to 3,500. And so would that 3,500, would that move you closer to getting to Italy with your love of your life?
Absolutely, it would.
Fantastic. By when do you want to be at $3,500?
I would say I need to be there within 6 months so I can save money and prepare for that trip.
Okay, fantastic. So, Lauren, I'm going to help you to get very specific here.
Okay.
So, I want to know, what month will you be at $3,500 a week? Give me a month.
I'm going to say September.
By September, give me a day.
September the 1st,
Give me a year.
2025.
So everyone listening or watching us, write this down. You must always get a month, a day, and a year. Never, ever waver from that. Even though it's obvious it's 2025, if she says 6 months, of course it's going to be 2025. But guess what? People can get a little bit slimy sometimes. You might get to September 1st. Oh, well, I meant next year. So we want to get very, very specific. Fantastic. Now, Lauren, what action steps will you need to take to get from $2,000 to $3,500?
I'm going to probably need to double book my clients.
Okay, so one action step could be to double book clients. What would be another action step?
I really need to work on adding on services when I have a client in my chair.
Okay, we're going to have to do add-on sales. Absolutely. That is the bomb.com action step you could take. Now, earlier you said you needed more what?
Money.
More money, but what did you say before more money?
More clients.
So might that be an action step? Do you indeed need more clients?
Yes.
Okay, so another action step is more clients. And so what we're going to do, Lauren, is right now, you're at $2,000 a week. You want to be at 3,500. You want to be there by September 1st, 2025. The action steps you will need to take to get there is to start looking at double booking clients, doing add-ons with the clients you have, and getting not just more clients, but more ideal clients. Would those three action steps support you?
Absolutely.
Okay, fantastic. And so now, champions, Lauren, I'd like to schedule another coaching session with you. And on that one, what we're going to do is we're going to take these three action steps and we're going to turn each of them into SMART goals with action steps. Would that be okay with you?
It would be incredible.
And I want to just take a minute and acknowledge you. for having the courage to go for your dreams. I want to really acknowledge you for having a dream. And it's a really great one. And I will always be your biggest cheerleader. And I will do my part to help you get to Italy in April of 2006. You got this, champion.
Thank you, Lauren. I'm so excited to make this happen.
So, Miss Lauren, I'm gonna talk with you first, and then we're going to need others to engage. While I'm speaking to Lauren right now, I'd like others of you, I want you to go to the chat box and I want you to put in there, what did you notice that I did differently than what you might do when you're in a coaching session? What did you see me do differently? What did you hear me do differently? So, Lauren, I'm going to ask you a different question. What was that like for you?
It was actually, even though we're just pretending, it was extremely motivating for me.
So say more about that.
I felt like I could do it. I felt like you believed in me, and it made me believe in myself, and it gave me clear things that I can immediately make a change on and work towards to hopefully achieve my goal.
Yes. And how many people in so if we're looking at a technician, one of your technicians, how many people in their life do you think have helped them get that clear of a picture around a goal and a dream?
I would say not many, if any.
And that is the beauty of this.
Yeah.
And then as you use the Inspiring Champion systems that will help you to get there, we start to see the magic happen. So I'm going to go to Meadow. So Lauren, thank you so much. I appreciate you. And again, congratulations on being Mrs. International USA, representing Texas, the great state of Texas. Now, my gosh, that is a tough state to win becoming a queen, because we know some of the most beautiful women live in Texas. So bravo. Wow.
Thanks, Lauren.
All right, Meadow, let me hear some of the things we are hearing in the chat box from people.
Yeah, it's just blowing up, Lauren. Lots of chats in here.
Okay, what are we hearing? What did they see or hear?
Guide them through the process. Guide them through questions. Repeat key words. Plan the date that the goal will be achieved. Much more specific about goals and visualizing the time frame and end results. Lori Tucker says inspiring her. Amy Jo says thanked her for being able to coach her. You inspired her to do it and have super clear pictures of how to achieve it. Getting all the details, more of the specifics is what I would need to work on, says Angela Artis. Clarity. You helped her find the why she wanted. So she was specific of her goal and the date.
Yes,
and
that why is so crucial.
There's just
Meadow.
so
Wouldn't
many
you
here.
agree?
It's wonderful. Yeah.
Well, I want to thank all of those who participated in the chat box. Fantastic. We love hearing from you. And so, champions, I'm going to be showing you now a core coaching and mentoring model. I want you to wait until all the steps are up to take a picture of it. And so wait till all the steps are up. You can use this with anyone, anywhere, anytime. You had better hope you're never on an elevator with me that gets on the first floor and goes to the 25th floor. Because I guarantee you, by the time we get to the 25th floor, you will have a goal with the action plan to get there. And I will use this coaching model. I use it with complete strangers. I use it with everybody. And what I can tell you, it absolutely positively works, and you bring out the best in others. So here we go, champions. We are launching it. Core coaching model. So we're going to go with our step one. How do we find out what somebody wants? We ask them, what do you want? Now you have to get a little specific. So for instance, I asked Lauren, what do you want more of in your business? That may be a great question to ask one of your team members. Your children, what do you want for dinner? Your spouse, where do you want to go for a movie. You got to find out, what do you want? So you got to make it, if you just say, what do you want? Oh my gosh, it's such a big question. It's like trying to eat a big elephant in one bite. It's impossible. So you want to be a little bit more specific. So what do you want more of in your business? And Lauren said, what, champions? First, she said she wanted more clients. But remember, the next step is we got to find out their compelling why. That really is the next step. Because if they say they want more money, I'm touching on what would you do with more money? What is the one thing? It'll always come back to that. Then, where are you now? Again, be a little more specific than just where are you now. If they want to make more money, they all know very closely what they average a week. All of them know that. So where are you now, Lauren? What are you currently averaging a week? Take the big elephant, break it down from where are you now, not to what do you currently average a year? That's still too big. What do you average a month? That might still be too big. What do you average a week? That's eating an elephant one bite at a time. They're going to know that. Where are you now? What do you currently average per week? And Lauren said, what, champions? 2,000. Where do you want to be? So where are you now, but where do you want to be? And everyone, Lauren said $3,500. What was the big bodacious question we asked next? By when? Great. By when? And when we say a specific date, month, day, and year. So I know Lauren wants to make more money. I know the reason she wants to make more money is she wants a trip to Italy with her family on April 14th for 3 weeks, 2026. That's her why. I know she's at 2,000 right now. I know she wants to be at 3,500. You're going to be blown away how quickly this can go with someone. Great. By when? I don't know. You're going to hear, I don't know a lot. When someone says, I don't know, they're just, no one's ever made them think before. So it's like a scapegoat. It's easy to say, I don't know. And most people just blow it off and go, okay. No, a great coach, Vince Lombardi, would never say, okay. Vince Lombardi wouldn't blow it off. Bill Gates wouldn't blow it off. No great coach or leader would blow it off. If you did know, that's your comeback. Oh, got it. If you did know, when would you want to go? What month? Take it and break it down. What month? So we know that she wants to do that by September 1st, 2025. And then what did you all notice I did uniquely different next? Did I jump on the white horse and try to save the day? Did I ever tell Lauren what she needed to do? Did any of you ever hear me? Oh my gosh, Lauren, you got to do this. You got to do that. Do this. And oh my gosh, you'll get to 3,500. See, that is not coaching. That is micromanaging. No one wants to be micromanaged. No one wants to be told what to do. And you know, and I know, we all know that if you tell someone do this and this and this, it's never going to happen. There's no self-empowerment. People are empowered when you ask questions that take them within and get them to think and actually come up with an answer. That's called ownership. It's not your dream. No, it's their dream. It's not your goal. It's their goal. It's all about getting them to say the answer. If they say, I don't know if you did know, and you just keep saying that and they will give you an answer. But I didn't save the day. I said, Lauren, what action steps will you need to take to achieve your goal? I took the burden off of me and I laid it over on Lauren. And then, champions, she came up with 3 amazing action steps. Again, I didn't give her any of the answers. Empowerment lives within. My job is to ask the right questions and to get them to tell me, because if we say it, they will always fight it and resist it. If they say it, it is true. It is etched in stone. It is theirs, and they will do whatever it takes to move towards that. And then the next thing, champions, is you got to track and monitor their results. We got to, we have our roadmap to success. If you don't have a tracking form, reach out to us and we'll send you our roadmap to success. It takes 1.5 minutes a day and it gives you 100% of the information you need to move forward. I love this saying, when building team, always, everyone say always, always look for people who love to win. And if you can't find any of those, then you need to search for people who hate to lose. We are looking for winners. We are looking for champions. So again, you can use this anywhere, anytime, with anyone. It works in any situation. It is fast, it is easy, and they will never forget you. So champions, we're going to do a check-in. I want all of you right now, I want you to number your page from 1 to 10. Everyone do that right now. Number your page 1 to 10. And if our job is to grow our team, so if they want to make more money, if they want to do more add-ons, if they want more clients, if they want to know how to work smart instead of hard, are you prepared? Do you have the easy, written, proven, repeatable systems? Because if you don't, it's going to be a very difficult journey moving them forward. You know what they want, you know when they want it by, and you know the actions. But now as the leader, you got to have the tools, you got to have the proven systems to get them there. So we're going to do a check-in. I want all of you to answer these honestly. If you're an owner on the call that has team members that work for you, you're thinking more global, not just for you, but your entire team. If you're an individual that perhaps you're a solo suite or you're an independent contractor, or booth renter, or you work at Employee Salon and you're on this by yourself, then you're answering these for yourself. But everybody needs to play. And all you have to do is answer yes or no, because these answers are the difference between success or failure and helping people grow, including yourself. So 1, do you have a proven, repeatable? It means it's in writing. So if it's not in writing, it's already a no. You can't just think it, you got to ink it. Do you have a proven, repeatable system to consistently boost service sales by 100 to 500 every day, every day, every day? So do you have this system for your team to help them? That would immediately help Lauren get to her goal. Number 2, do you possess a scripted and repeatable system for leading a perfect guest consultation each visit? Do you have this in writing for all of your team members, whether they do hair, skin, nail, massage? Do you have those? 3, do you have a written and proven system to upsell so your team can learn how to upsell? Remember, add-ons is upselling without ever feeling like a pushy salesperson. If I've learned anything over my career in this great industry, the average human being in our industry would rather die in a fire than ever be perceived as a pushy salesperson. So if you don't have a written, proven, easy system, they're never going to do it. We got to help them out. 4, do you have a written vision statement that paints a vivid picture of your ideal client? See, you don't need everyone in your chair. You need the right ones. Do you have a written vision statement? If not, it's a no. 5, do you have a written 1-year strategy detailing how you will increase sales 20 to 100%? Do each of your team members have a written 1-year strategy on how they will increase sales 20 to 100%? Do you and your team members have written goals for your life and your business with an action plan to achieve? Yes or no? This isn't about making anyone feel like a loser or bad. This is about you getting awareness of where are you now. It's impossible to move you or anybody forward until you know where your starting place is. This is simply your starting place, no matter what your answers are. 7, Do you have a proven and repeatable system to double and triple retail sales now? That is another source of income. When people want to make more money, they can be paying their car payment through retail. 8, do you and each of your team members know how you're performing according to the industry performance standards of all other salon and spa professionals? I can't begin to tell you how crucial this is. And in a little bit, I'm going to be putting up my booking link where you're able to book a complimentary call with me to help you with this. 9, do you have a scripted and repeatable system to pre-book and secure 75% of your guests in advance? Do you have a repeatable system that's like 40 seconds, no kidding, everyone can do it every time, no matter what? Because the 3 ways that they will boost their income: service sales, retail sales, pre-booking. That's what we got to drive. And number 10, to date, do your team members possess the written essential business skills and proven systems to ignite rapid growth in sales and results? So everybody, I want you to total up all your yeses and all your nos. And wherever you are is perfect. I know we have a lot of our coaching clients on here. I know I have 2 of my coaching clients on here that I know have a lot of yeses. We have some people that have never met us before. You might not have any yeses. Wherever you are doesn't define where you can go. It's just where you are today, and it can change quickly. But you got to know, where am I now? And then you got to ask yourself, where do I want to be? How many yeses do I want? So I want you to either write down or go to the chat box. And I want you to think about this. If you are a leader that's responsible for growing people, I want you to think about, what are those no's costing you? What are they costing you? I want you to think about what would be possible for you, for your team, if you could turn all of those no's into yeses. Go to the chat box. I want to hear some answers. And what I'm not looking for is everything. I want to know, what would you have more of? So put more X, whatever those are. What would you have less of? If all those no's were yeses, how would it impact this one amazing life of yours? And Meadow, as they start to come in, would you share them with me, please?
Of course. So money, clients, time, all caps. More money, less stress, more balance, more confidence, less indecision, more money.
Good answers. Well, you can see there is a cost. And what's very unfortunate and very sad is there's absolutely no cosmetology school that gives you that. These people are coming out of school and they're coming to your salons, and they barely know the skill part, more or less the business part. What if you were that coach, that mentor, that leader that had all these tools and you mastered them, and you could lead and grow your people? You use your coaching model based on what they need. You have the tools. So I'm going to share with you real quick. I want you to meet some raving fans, real people with real results. Jacqueline is a rock star. Jacqueline started with us in 2018. Jacqueline had been a rock star hairdresser. She was making more money than she ever dreamed possible. Her father never wanted her to be a hairdresser because he said she would never make money at it. And she blew him away how much money she was making. And so she thought, I'm going to open a salon. I'm going to get all these great people to go work with me. I'm going to be able to make more money. I'll be able to work less hours. And we're going to ride off into the sunset and sing Kumbaya. I'm going to open a salon, and this is going to be amazing. Well, within just weeks of opening, it became very clear to her that she had never been taught how to manage people. She didn't know anything about the business end. And before you knew it, she was working 24/7. She was no longer getting a paycheck. It was all going in to keeping her doors open. She had no systems to grow her team. She was ready to get out and shut the doors down. She had massive debt. Her business was in the red, and it turned into a nightmare. Her dream became a nightmare. But nightmares can turn into amazing dreams. And so if we look at just Jacqueline, here's what Jacqueline was doing: $8,206. She got to $13,579, but she did this working 5 10-hour days to keep the door open. She had her amazing. Her average ticket went from 96.54 to 301. Her retail was 1,075 a month, but it went to 3,714. Her average retail ticket went up to 82.53. These are ordinary people creating extraordinary results, but this is not the best part of the story. Over here, she was a slave behind the chair. There was no time to coach and mentor her team. She was working 5 10-hour days. Over here, she works no more than 6 days a month behind the chair producing these numbers. And guess what she's done with her team? She has been able to take her team. Nobody on her team works more than 29 hours a week. Every one of them using our systems, the systems that Jacqueline mastered to produce these results, every one of them earn, not make, not bring in, all of them earn $100,000 to $200,000 a year. She increased her own business 65%, going down to 6 days a month instead of, 25 days a month. But the amazing thing is, she does this in 869 square feet with a 26% profit margin, and she is debt-free, working 6 days a month to help grow her team. This is what's possible, but the best part, she's compensated not one way, but 3 ways. My beautiful little client, Giovanna, that I got to coach for a year. When I started with her, she was only 26. She was at the peak of her career, but she was maxed out and burnt out. She wanted me to coach her on how to get out of the business. At 26, to her, working more than 40 hours a week, 5 days a week was too much, and she was ready to walk. So we have to find out, where are you now? She was doing $6,250 a month. That's pretty darn good at 26 years old. But 1 year later, 9,200. The retail, real results in 1 year. But the best part of all is this. She went from 40 hours, 5 days a week, generating 75,000 over here, to 25 hours a week, 3 days, earning over 110,000. How many of you think that changed her life? How many of you believe she is still in the industry, or did she get out? She is in and more excited than she's ever been. She was able to get a 47% in service sales, working 2 less days and almost half less hours. And so I want you to think about, what would your life look like if you could work less, earn more, and love your career again? Because that's the question we have to all ask ourselves. These are ordinary people just like you. You have your story, they had theirs. But I'm going to be moving on to 2 things right now. We're going to be moving to, in just a moment, we're going to move to the number 1 reason people will leave you and how to avoid that. And I am going to give you the most amazing 4-step system. How many of you ever have people that stretch you with their inappropriate behavior? And you're conflicted with how to approach them, how to talk to them about that. You would rather die in a fire than have conflict. Well, I'm going to give you a 5-step system for that. So don't go anywhere because in just a moment, we're going to go to that. But I want to know, go to the chat box. How many of you want to turn all your no's into yeses? Go to the chat box because the answer is simple. You either do or you don't. There's no trying. How many of you want to have real results? How many of you want to make a lot more and work less? So here's where it's going to happen, champions, at Champ Camp. I know we've got some Champ Camp graduates on here. You're welcome to go to the chat box and add anything you'd like. But here is our one Champ Camp this year. May 18th, 19th, and 20th, 3 days in Tampa, Florida. It will change your life. It will change your business forever. This was the start for all of these people. This is where we turn every no into a yes and a lot more. And right now, for one more week, the normal price is $1,799, and that is a steal for getting the Harvard University of Education. But until March 31st, we have taken for our anniversary sale $800 off, and it's only $999. And so it's not too far off. So it's 2 payments of $549, which breaks down to $25 a day. $25 a day. All of you make significantly more than that in tip money. Take your tip money and put it into a success fund and be the eagle. Soar above the rest. Take an action step that will change the course of your destiny. And if I have any owners on here, so here is the QR code. There's the QR code that you can take a snapshot of, and that's how you would register. We're going to make it easy. And then champions, if any of you would like a call with me, you want to know more, you want me to help you with your goals and dreams, you can schedule a complimentary 1-hour call with me. It is my favorite thing in the world is coaching and mentoring people. So here is my QR code to do that. Miss Meadow, is Heather, is she with us before I go into our secret number 2?
Yes. Heather is with us.
Okay. Miss Heather.
Hello. I don't see me, but I don't know if that means that you can't see me.
We can see you. We can see you. There's a lot of people on here. So
Yeah,
Miss
that's
Heather
exciting.
is our director of impact and operations. But Heather, share with us about yourself.
Hi, everyone. My name's Heather Goodwin. I live in Tampa, Florida. I'm a salon owner. I've been a salon owner for 17 years. I'm also still working behind the chair as a nail technician. I've been a nail tech for 30 years. After I had an unbelievable transformation in both my life and in my business with Inspiring Champions 20 years ago, I came on board with the team as a trainer and a zone coach, then went on to become a business coach, and now I'm the director of impact and operations, and I couldn't be more thrilled to be in this new position with the company. So yeah, it's a little bit about
And
me.
I'm thrilled for you. So Heather, how much do you generate a year as a nail tech and in how many days?
So, so for me as a nail technician, my goal is to consistently do $1,000 days. So I've structured my days to be pretty consistent so that in 3 days a week, I can generate $150,000 a year consistently.
How many of you think that's pretty amazing for a nail technician? So she's got it. So Miss Heather, what would you like to have them know today? What are you going to be doing here coming up?
So I'm really excited. When I attended Champ Camp 22, 23 years ago now, I was not working 3 days a week. I was actually working 6 days a week, 10 to 12-hour days, killing myself. I was totally burned out. Type burned out if you've been burned out in this industry into the chat box. And someone had suggested I go to the class. At the time, I had a 2-year-old boy. He had just been diagnosed with autism, and I just needed to be home a lot more than he was getting me, but I didn't know how to get off that driving force of a hamster wheel that I was on. And so when I was sitting in that class, the biggest aha came over me. And what I discovered at camp was that I was spending all of my days, day in, day out, hour after hour, offering one of my lowest profit services. So one of the systems that I've been a huge cheerleader for the last 2 decades is something called the rate per hour, where I got to work with a coach immediately after camp and really dissect my service offerings and come up with a strategy to really create a pricing and timing strategy along with service offerings that would work. The piece that was missing was I could see what I wanted to do, but I didn't have a framework or a system in place to incentivize my clients to want something different. I didn't have a strategy or a system to really uncover the things that they wanted more of or less of, so that I could then be the hero and come in with these new suggested services to support what they wanted as results. And so in a combination with what Inspiring Champions calls the perfect consultation, combining those two along with per hour is what really drove such massive difference. So in the first 6 months after I graduated from Champ Camp, I went down to 4 days a week. So I went from 6 days a week down to 4 days a week. I was doing about $70,000 a year in services back then, which was pretty good for a nail tech, but I was killing myself to make it happen. And inside those first 6 months, I jumped over into the 6-figure mark, generating over $100,000 that year while cutting 30% of my hours behind the chair. And I've used those same 2 systems over and over again, not only with my coaching clients, but with my team at my own salon, so that each person coming on board with my team has a strategy and a pathway to generate 6 figures a year within 18 months a year on the floor. So it's a repeated system that everybody can use. And so I'm really excited. Should I tell them about the next webinar now?
Yes.
So I'm super excited. We're going to be doing a webinar, a free webinar on Monday, April 14th at noon Eastern Standard Time, called Consultation 101. It's the first step in creating your dream business. And I'm going to break down some pieces. So for those of you who have been to Champ Camp, it's going to be a great refresher. For those of you who have never been to Champ Camp, it's going to give you a really great starting system to put some of this into place in your own business. And if you're going to the Champ Camp in Tampa in May, it's going to give you steps that you can start to put into effect and create some mastery around. So when you really get to dive in and learn the system in its fullest during those 3 days, you're already going to have some experience in place that you can then have some great questions like, I've been working with this, I did what you said, here's what I'm noticing, how do I master this more fully? So you're going to come with a different kind of hearing once you get to those 3 days. So I'm super excited, and I want you to share it with anyone you can in the industry. It's a free webinar on April 14th.
And that would probably be great for them to bring all of their technicians.
I would bring all your technicians. And if you have friends in the industry that don't necessarily work with you, you're going to be able to invite them as well. I'm passionate about the subject. I could teach on it for days. And it really shows you, it's one of those where the biggest aha I hope people take away from it is how much they're leaving on the table, not just from a financial standpoint, but their clients are really coming to them. Unless your client that's in front of your chair today, if you have a new client in your chair today and she didn't move to your town yesterday, that means she left every other service provider she ever went to before she got to you.
Right.
So the impact of not finding out what they want and how to deliver it is so great that they're leaving other people's businesses seeking solutions. We're going to start right on day one in that webinar on how to deliver some of those solutions in a way that they probably have never experienced before. And when you do it, you'll have a client for life.
Well, there is no one better than you to teach that. So everyone join us on April 14th. And Miss Heather, thank you for being a part of this extraordinary team and leading us to the top. And so I am going to keep us going, champions. So I want you to know the secret to leading a changing team is the biggest thing that's most important. Do you know that they did a study? They did a study with 1,000 key leaders of top organizations, and they asked them, would you prefer to get a 5% raise, or would you prefer to be acknowledged for the work you do? And every single one of them said they wanted acknowledgement. And if you remember earlier, I said, if you want bad results, catch people doing something wrong and tell them all about it. Or see them doing something right and say nothing. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to give you a fast, easy, proven system that you can use with your children, your significant other, your team, the waitress at the restaurant you go to, anyone, anywhere, anytime. I am such a firm believer in praise and acknowledgement, always watching for people to do something right and to tell them all about it. That is the most important thing that we can do. So I want you to, again, you can take a snapshot at the end of this slide. So to catch people doing something right, I'm going to take you through these steps, and then I'm going to show you a model to follow. So one, you always want to deliver the praise immediately or as soon as possible. You want to be very specific about what it is that you want to praise them about. And in fact, while I'm going through these, I'll either need someone to come off of mute that I can talk with, or you can go to the chat box and put in there something someone did recently that was really praiseworthy. I want all of you to think of one person who did something really amazing that deserved a great praise and recognition. So when we do these, we deliver it immediately. We're very specific. We authentically, and this is the hard part. I find so many people, it's very challenging for them to authentically share from their heart. Most people just think with their head, and the head is a dangerous place to go when you're trying to connect with someone, not head to head, but heart to heart. That's where they've got to feel and hear and experience the acknowledgement. And we've got to encourage great performance. So they say appreciation can make a day. It can even change a life. But your willingness to put it into words is all that is necessary. See, you want to be a person that builds people instead of breaking them down. You want to make deposits instead of withdrawals. You want to always spark the best in people. And so, Meadow, I need to hear if someone put in there something someone did, or if they can come off of mute and tell us something someone did recently that was really extraordinary and praiseworthy. Do we have anyone?
Salvatore says, I gave Rachel praise and acknowledgement for doing the what, why, how, and what they love about the at-home care products.
Okay, so what he's talking about is she used our retail system to educate the client, correct?
I believe so, yes. That
yes.
Sounds correct.
So it is our bump system, the what, why, how, love. Very good. Okay, so Salvatore, I know this is an area that you're always trying to grow in. So I am so glad that it was you that put that in there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to take you through a model. And first, Salvatore, Meadow, I want you to be Rachel, or Salvatore,
Okay.
you can be Rachel. And I'm going to take you through this model. And what's really just precious about this model is I can tell you this. It is absolutely impossible to lift others up and not lift yourself up. As a leader, it often feels like we're being dragged down and weighed down and only get to hear the bad stuff. And so I think it's so important for our energy, for our morale, that if we can just really go out of our way to keep lifting others up, you're going to notice that you'll be more lifted up. So with that, champions, I am going to role play with you, Salvatore, the model. So, all right, it's Rachel though. Rachel, I just want to take a moment and I just want to acknowledge you for the profound, outstanding job you did on doing the retail bump system with that client. It made me feel like you really were at the top of your game, that you really cared about this client. I felt like you really wanted to make a difference for this client. And the impact it had is they left with 3 products. And it's not just about the 3 products, but the impact that's going to have is it is going to help them duplicate their look at home. So they look and feel marvelous all the time. And I just want to say congratulations, bravo on a job well done. Keep up the good work. It is going to pay off for you. It's going to pay off for your client. Bravo, Miss Rachel. I am very proud of you and I want you to be proud of yourself. And so champions, wait until the end of this to take a snapshot, because key 1 is when you, and in 1 sentence, so this happens in 1 minute or less, when you, and tell them what they did, when you did the retail bump system with your client. That's it. That's key 1. When you did the retail bump system with your client. Key 2, I felt so proud of you. I felt that you really deeply cared about that client and that they had the products they needed to take care of themselves at home. Always do a minimum of 2. It's either I felt, I feel, it could be a we. Sometimes it might be a more than just you. It might be a we. But this is what you must always open with. So key 1, when you use the retail bump system with your client, I felt so proud of you. I felt so blown away that you cared that much about the client that you wanted to ensure they went home with the products. Key 3, the impact that had is that client now has the tools to duplicate their look at home, which means they will become a repeat client. The impact it has is your income is going to increase. The impact it had is that you are making a difference that probably nobody else has that even cared about making sure they had retail. And then key 4, my request, and this is where you tell them to keep up the great work. You just continue this improvement. Never give up. Never stop being a champion. You encourage continued great performance. What you have to know is that literally encouragement is oxygen for the soul. If you become a person who is always encouraging, always uplifting, always acknowledging what people are doing right, the way to go is great job. I'm proud of you. Are you proud of yourself? If you just are always on top of that, it's like you get a new dog. Think of when you get a puppy. And when we all get a puppy, we all know it's inevitable. We want to teach them a trick. We always want to teach them a trick. And so usually the first trick we want to teach a new dog is to sit. So what do? We get a biscuit. You know, we're gonna bribe the dog. So we get it and we go, okay, sit. And it never sits. It has no idea what you're talking about. And you look at it, okay, sit. doesn't sit. So what do? We help it out a little bit. We push down its little hiney. Sit. And we keep doing that. And then the moment it does it, we give it a biscuit. And it's little tail wags. Ooh, we're like, oh my gosh, that was so good. Oh, you did so good. And pretty soon the dog has this connection. Oh, when they say sit and I put my back end down, I'm going to get a goodie. I'm going to get a biscuit, and it likes the biscuit. Well, I want you to think of praise and acknowledgement as like the greatest biscuit any dog will ever get on steroids. And they will do just about anything to get the biscuit again. All of a sudden, you'll start to notice bad behavior go away, and you'll start to see people doing more things right. But the important thing is you got to say something about it. You got to catch those moments of magic, catch the moments of magic and acknowledge it. Make sure you say something. It can be 15 seconds. But this is a great model. If you're a person who struggles with praise and acknowledgement, this is your model. So all of you, here is your next success work. I want you in the next 24 hours, it has to happen in the next 24 hours, to acknowledge a minimum of 3 people. You're going to watch for someone to do something right, and you're going to acknowledge them. And it can be this, or it can be what you want it to be, but it's got to be short. It's got to be very short, less than a minute. And this will always. So we're into systems. Systems are something in writing that you can repeat. And that's what makes Champion so powerful, is every system to grow your team member is a scripted, repeatable system that has been perfected over 30 years with over 18,000 attendees at Champ Camp. You don't have to reinvent the wheel. Everything you need to grow your team, you get at Champ Camp. And so this is not something you get at Champ Camp. This is something on your leadership that you want to be sure to do. And I love this. This is one of my very, very favorite quotes. It makes you think, am I a boss or am I a leader? And think about it. Is there a difference? And we all know the answer is absolutely yes, there's a difference. Flatter me and I may not believe you. Criticize me and I may not like you. Ignore me, I may not forgive you. But encourage me and I may never forget you. The one thing, when I write down, it sounds a little morbid, but everyone should do this. You really want to think about, what do you want people to say about you when you leave this earth, when you graduate? What do you want people to say about you? And I want people to say that I brought out the best in them, and I always made them feel special, and I acknowledged and listened to. I think it's the most amazing gift we can give anyone. My team, I have these blue ribbons. Who I am makes a difference in gold. I know they're going to talk about that at my celebration of life. I just know it because I give them to everyone everywhere we go. And people never forget it. Acknowledgement. If you're not acknowledging, you got a revolving door. If you're not acknowledging your children, when they move out, you may never see them again. If you got friends that you're not acknowledging, it's just all about you, you got a revolving door. You want to have great friends, great relationships, a great marriage, amazing children that love you and look up to you, team members that will never, ever forget you. Point out what they do right and tell them all about it. Bring out the best. Spark hope. Build dreams. Ask yourself, are the people in my life better or worse off because of me? Commit to being a people builder and your life will change dramatically. If you don't get anything else but this. Now, while we're going to transition over to champions, guess what?
Lauren,
Yes.
before you transition, I just there's some important things in the chat about what you just said. So Lauren Jackson says that, Lauren, we say it now and we will say it when you've graduated. Amy Joe says, I love this. You will always be a huge part of me. So Lauren, you make a difference for all of us. So I hope we can't let those comments go by without you hearing how much you make a difference for all of us.
Thank you. It's my mission in life is to make people feel heard and listen to them, that they matter. Everybody matters. You matter, just nobody tells you. I'm here to tell you today, you are an influencer who makes a difference now. You are a game changer. You are a great leader. You're amazing. You're powerful. You're equipped. And don't you ever forget that. And if you do ever forget that, here, schedule a complimentary session with me and let me take you to the top. Because we all need help. We all need someone to be our biggest cheerleader, and I'll always be here for all of you. And then I don't know, here's the QR code for our webinar on April 14th. And Meadow, if you want to put that code in the chat box, because we got to move on to our last one, which is, what about those people who are not giving you a lot to acknowledge? Not giving you a lot to do, way to go, that are actually like a gnat in your eye, that are actually like a sword in your back. So let's talk about that, because for many of you, the hardest thing for you is reprimanding someone. But if you don't do this, you become a part of the bad behavior. And so we're going to talk about our last and final secret, and that is the 1-minute reprimand. And again, wait till all of these are up before you take a screenshot. You'll know because the page will be full. And then if you have any questions, put them in the chat box. But when you do a 1-minute reprimand, key thing, 1 minute. How many of you know that you usually wait until someone has done the same thing that upsets you 5 to 10 times, and you wait until it's the straw that broke the camel's back? And it's like you are a volcano and it just erupted and you throw up all over them. And you not just tell them once what they did wrong, but you circle Dallas over and over and over, because we're not sure they got it the first time. So we got to tell them at least 5 times what they did wrong, so we make sure that they heard it. That is not the way to bring out the best in someone. So what this is designed to do is it will diffuse all the anger. It will diffuse all the upset. It will ground you, and you will leave them big. You will leave them empowered. I promise you, this is so powerful. So first, you got to deliver the reprimand or ASAP, preferably in person. But if it can't be in person, it can be on the phone. I've done it in emails. My team is virtual. It might be an email. It could be a text. It could be a voicemail message, but it's going to get done. Step 2, you've got to do it in private. I've seen so many leaders and owners reprimand people in front of others. That is a huge no-no. It must always be in private. Everyone say private. Step 3, it can take no longer than 1 minute. With one small gesture, with our words, with our actions, we can change a person's life for the better or for the worse. So no more than 1 minute. Number 4, you must bottom line and be specific. Bottom line, be specific. No circling Dallas, no telling them 5 times. Step 5, be firm and non-threatening. We're firm but non-threatening. They get that there's something important, but they get that we're not mentally beating them up. 6, we must ask permission to share an observation. And 7, you always leave them big. Now, this is 7 things, but I'm going to take you through the 5-step system. And here's what's great about it. You already know most of it. So I'm going to give you an example. So let's say it's that person. I think a common one is someone who's always tardy. I just want to use something as an example. So let's go with they're always tardy. So here we go, champions. Watch this. When you are consistently tardy, period, end of sentence. Key one sentence. When you are consistently tardy, I feel like you think your time is more important than all of ours. I feel like you are being disrespectful to not only the team and the business, but you're being disrespectful to your client that you're running late for. The impact it has is it decreases our credibility in the marketplace that we work so hard to maintain. It decreases our reputation. It makes you look bad to the team and to the client, and it makes all of us look bad. My request is that you and I schedule a time where we can sit down and we can come up with a strategy that will help you to never be late again. I want to support you in being the best version of you that you can possibly be. And I know together we can come up with a structure that will support you. And I'm willing to invest the time if you are. And what I want you to know is you are a valuable member of this team. I adore you. The team loves you. Your clients love you. They can't wait to see you. You are an asset to this organization, and I want you to be with us for a very, very long time. So thank you for meeting with me today. And I just want you to be the best version of you you can be. So I'm going to pause there, and I want that to sit with you. I want you to think about how different this was. I want you to think about doing this with your spouse. I want you to think about doing this with your child. When you consistently get a D in math, I feel like you can do this with anything, anywhere, with anyone. And the important thing to remember when you have to do a reprimand, most people will say, oh my gosh, let's say her name is Mary. Mary, I need to schedule an appointment with you. I'm going to need like 15 minutes with you. Where does Mary instantly go in her head? We all know, uh-oh, something's wrong. Uh-oh, what did I do wrong? I want you to take a new and completely different approach. Instead of saying, Mary, I need to schedule a 15-minute appointment with you, I want you to say, Mary, I have an amazing observation I want to share with you. We're only going to need a few minutes together, and it's designed to help you reach the best, to help you be the best version of you. Would that completely shift how Mary's going to walk into the meeting? Mary, I have an observation that I need 5 minutes of your time to share with you, and it is designed to support you in being the greatest champion you can be in your life. Mary's not going to go, oh no, I don't want that. Mary's going to show up, and then when you get in, you go, Mary, do I have your permission to share an observation? You got to ask for permission. Mary, do I have your permission to share an observation? When you are consistently tardy, I feel you go right into it. But remember, when you get to key 5, there's no turning back. You leave them big, and it stops there. We already shifted what has to happen And then we go into everybody has something great about them. Everybody. And you got to find that one thing that's great about them. And you got to have it hit them in the heart. Like Cupid with an arrow. Boom. It hits their heart because no one's probably done this. Do you know most people that you praise and acknowledge have never heard from anyone? A lot of them didn't get it growing up. You'll be their biggest hero. So we went through so much today, champions. We talked about the 3 types of people that you can hire: eagles, potential eagles, chickens. We gave you 2 success works that you are going to now do to identify who's on your team. Then, champions, we looked at that if you want to get ineffective and bad results, here are the 3 things you never do. You catch people doing something right and you say absolutely nothing about it. You catch people doing something wrong and you tell them all about it. And you don't make it clear what's expected of them. Then we went into the core coaching model. Our job is to find out what people want, followed immediately by their compelling why, because the why precedes the how they will get there. And then we showed you an easy, repeatable core coaching mentoring model that you can use with anyone, anywhere, anytime. We know that if you want to stop a revolving door, you start looking for the way to go. It's the moments of magic and praise and acknowledge and make them feel like $1,000,000. Keep the change. It's got to be from your heart. It's got to be authentic. It's got to be genuine. And don't miss those. And they will start doing more to get those and move away from their bad behavior. We also looked at champions that the next thing is how to stop the bad behavior. And then you've got your policy of, I would say, the 3 strikes, you're out. After 3 strikes, they're really saying, I don't want to work here anymore because I'm not willing to submit to your rules. It probably is a chicken. And it doesn't matter what you spend, what you invest in time and money in a chicken. They don't want to be a potential eagle. They certainly don't want to be an eagle. They just want to hang out with chickens the rest of their life. And so it might be time to get them to exit the plane. And so if you want to surround yourself with eagles, if you want to turn all your no's into yeses, if you want to change not only the course of your destiny, but of your entire team and help others reach their full potential, I'm just going to tell you, there is nothing like Champion. And over 18,000 graduates will tell you that. So you don't want to miss this experience. It's not just about your business, it's about your life. And then I just want to thank Miss Meadow, who is hands down the greatest co-pilot, the greatest support person, the greatest rock for me. Meadow, I don't know what I would do without you, but I want to acknowledge you for always going the extra mile. I want to acknowledge you for your big, gentle heart that is bigger than the entire state of Texas. I want to acknowledge you for always going the extra mile with our clients, for your incredible patience with me, which takes a lot. And you do it so graciously. I just love you. I appreciate you. I value you. I respect you. Keep up the great job because it never goes unnoticed. And for those of you with us right now, I want you to know that who you are makes a difference. Don't ever forget that. You are an influencer who makes a difference now. It has been the greatest honor, the greatest pleasure to share this incredible time with each of you today. Thank you for joining me. We look forward to seeing you on April 14th with Miss Heather Goodwin, who is unbelievable. And I want to thank all of our champions for joining us today and for being a part of the Inspiring Champions family. Meadow, were there any questions in the chat box or any comments that I can answer?
Yes, I think Lori Tucker has a question. She has her hand up.
Okay.
Maybe.
I'm sorry, I didn't have a question. I'm sorry, I didn't mean it.
Oh, no worries. No worries. We bump that button every once in a while. Just want to make sure. Does anyone else have any questions before we log off? I don't think so. I think we're good, Lauren.
Okay. Well, I hope all of you took very copious notes and that you will go do your success work, because action is the only difference between those who fail and those who succeed. Action is fuel to success. So thank you, champions. Thank you, Meadow. Thank you, Heather, for joining us. And I am cheering you on to your grandest goals and dreams. Bye,
Thank you.
everybody. Woo!
Thank you.
Bye. Nice
Thank
to see
you,
you, Amy Jo.
champions.
Bye.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.